I don't know if we're going to cry or just be so happy that we got to the end of this book and we did it together. This chapter 4 of the book of Ruth, picks up where chapter 3 left off. And so Ruth is at home and she's been told to wait, and Boaz is going to go see what he can do about this situation. And I wonder what she felt. I mean, she's literally waiting to see who she's going to marry. So like doubt, anticipation, excitement, fear. But Boaz goes to the city gate, which is where all of the city council things would have happened, where the esteemed men of the city would have sat during the day. And he finds the Redeemer and he gets 10 elders and he basically lays the whole thing out. Like, here is the land. You are the Redeemer. Do you want this? And the man says, yes. And Boaz says, well, you can have the land, but you also have to take Ruth as your bride. And the man's like, no, probably because his sons and his family have an inheritance that they would have split between themselves. And so adding a wife and adding her potential future kids is going to mean that inheritance has to get split multiple ways. So we see that the guardian redeemer says to Boaz, you can redeem it yourself. And in verse 7, we have these parentheses, at least in my Bible, which shows that he took off his sandal and what that meant. It just meant that they were going to make a deal. And everything is done above board and with total integrity, with total honesty, with total transparency. And then we get this cool blessing because it says Boaz announces in verses 9 to 10 that this is exactly what has happened and you guys are witnesses. And so they bless him and they say, may your family be as numerous as Rachel and Leah. And we know that Rachel and Leah and their servants literally bore the nation of Israel. All the 12 tribes are from them. And it also includes this little name called Perez. Perez, the son of Judah and Tamar, is a story of redemption. It's not exactly like this story of redemption, but it is kind of cool. And so you can read that in Genesis 38. It is a reminder that God has a pattern of working through unexpected people and unexpected situations. We don't quite know how he's going to fulfill his plans and promises, but he sure does. And then we get to what's probably my favorite verse in verse 13. It says, after they married, the Lord enabled her to conceive. The Lord enabled her to conceive. She was married before. She had an opportunity to conceive before, and the Lord didn't allow her to conceive in that marriage, knowing that this was the perfect time for her to have a son. And this is a couple things that bring so much joy to Naomi. I mean, I think anytime, I'm not a grandma yet, but anytime a grandma has a grandchild, there is just so much love and joy that comes from that. And we see that Naomi wanted to be called bitter. And God's like, that's not the end of your story. I also have so much more for you. Because in the process of Boaz marrying Ruth, he received the lands and also Naomi. So she was well taken care of. She has a daughter-in-law who has been providing for her, who is faithful to her. Now she has a son-in-law and she has a grandson who is going to be in the line and lineage of Jesus Christ. It's a little like Job's story, who lost everything, but at the end, God blessed him with so much more. And it isn't a total parallel, but it is a beautiful story that we just get so stuck on what's happening in our lives and the circumstances and the losses and the grief and the hard time and the valleys all the time. God is up here doing something that is just so beautiful. We just have to wait because we can't see it yet. And if you've been around for any length of time, you know how much I love and adore and obsessed with genealogies. And this genealogy is just a short one, but it is linked to Matthew 1 and Luke 3, in which these names come up in the same order. And not only that, and if you ever read genealogies, you will notice that they're listed by the man's name. So this person was the father of this person, who this father of this person, or the son of this person, the son of this person, the son of this person. But in Matthew 1, we get Rahab and Ruth. The author of Matthew included 2 women with broken stories who were outsiders. They weren't even Israelites. This is incredible. And I just want to close by reading a verse from Isaiah 54. It says, for your maker is your husband, the Lord Almighty is his name. The Holy One of Israel is your Redeemer. He is called the God of all the earth. And this is the ending of my Substack, which is linked in my profile. It says, this verse reminds us that God himself takes on the role of Redeemer and husband for his people. He doesn't just buy us back. He binds himself to us in covenant love. Just as Boaz redeemed Ruth and made her his bride, God claims us as his own through Christ. Ruth's story ends with a baby in Naomi's arms, but our story ends with a Savior who redeems, restores, and calls us his beloved. The Redeemer who covered Ruth with his garment now covers us with his grace. I have loved this Bible study. If you have too, send a comment. Let me know that you have finished it, what you loved, what you learned. I don't know, just post something because this has been so fun. This week has been just such a huge blessing on my life, and I hope it has been in yours too. Love you guys. Have the best day.